Hello everyone, this is Steven, and welcome to my kitchen. Today I'm going to be instructing all of you in the fine art of creating your very own beef jerky from scratch. This is something I've been doing for about 10 years now, and it's probably the thing that I do best. So, we're gonna go ahead and get started, and I'm gonna go over some materials that you need first. You need a source of meat, so I have this cute little puppy right here. Hello, little puppy. That we're going to be turning into jerky. No, I'm just kidding. This is my puppy. Say hi. Hi. Please don't eat me. Okay. Since we're not actually in China right now, we're actually going to use a steak, a beef steak. Here I have the steak cut into 1/8-inch strips. Okay. This was several pounds of meat. So delicious. Oops. We have here a food dehydrator. Okay, you plug it into the wall. It pushes hot air up through these trays, which are slotted like this, so the meat rests on it, or vegetables, or whatever you want to dehydrate. And you leave that out with the meat in it for 8 hours or so, and then come out jerkified. So we have our dehydrator and our meat. We don't just want to stick the meat in the dehydrator because that would make for rather boring jerky, so we're going to create a marinade. So if I can move this thing out of the way. This is my first cooking show. Okay. Ignore this picture of rotten Kool-Aid. We're going to create a marinade with some very simple ingredients that I use very often for this. We're going to be making spicy teriyaki beef jerky. Okay, so first stage is going to be to marinate the meat for a couple hours. I'm going to do it overnight, so tomorrow we'll actually do the rest. So obviously teriyaki sauce, soy sauce to give it more Asianness, I guess. I don't know. A lot of hot sauce. We got black pepper, cayenne pepper for more spiciness, and cayenne pepper tastes good. We got onion powder, garlic salt, garlic powder, and then we're going to put in a lot of brown sugar, and that is to like balance out the bitterness from these sauces. And it's kind of nice when it's like sweet and spicy kind of thing. If you've ever had that kind of flavor, I don't know. There's not a whole lot of science to this. It just tastes good. So what I do is combine all this shit in a Tupperware thing like this one. And so this is kind of like, it's like big and shallow, so I can use not a whole lot of marinade in order to fill it up. So I like pour all this stuff in and then get it to taste good till I'm happy with the taste. Then I'll put in the meat and then put the lid on it and put it in the fridge overnight. And the cool thing is that you can reuse the marinade after you get the first batch of meat out of it. So if you want to like make a couple more, you can. But once the meat has been in it, don't stick your finger in it and taste it anymore because it's had raw meat in it, and you will probably get salmonella and go to the hospital. So that being said, let's get going. I'm going to show you how I make my marinade. I used to measure all this stuff out, and now I just kind of eyeball it because I know what it's supposed to taste like. So I'm going to use the whole bottle of teriyaki sauce. This was like $1 at Kroger. So sweet. We're going to use a whole bottle of soy sauce, also $1 at Kroger. The steak, in case you're curious, it was not on sale, so it was like 20 bucks. But that steak is going to make enough beef jerky to fill up like 1 or 2 freezer bags. So that's pretty cool. Hot sauce, I'll do some now, and then we'll kind of like get a feel for it after. I'm not going to do the whole bottle of this stuff because that would be really painful to eat, but we'll do enough. Alright, so black pepper, I'm just going to kind of like give it like a half tablespoon or so. I don't know. That's a measurement, right? Cayenne pepper, I go nuts on because this stuff is so good, and it helps like, you don't want the jerky to be like sticky from the brown sugar when you're done. So if you have a lot of this pepper and stuff on top of it, and you can even apply it after you're done, it will make it easier to like grip and stuff. Alright, onion powder. This stuff is also delicious, so it's also kind of like chunky because This is an old shaker. Sweet. Garlic salt. Very delicious. And so these dry ingredients right here, the onion powder, the garlic salt, the cayenne pepper, and the garlic powder, you can put all these on. You can put them in the marinade and then sprinkle them on top of the finished jerky. All right, and it'll actually taste pretty good, and it'll give it like a really cool texture, and it won't be sticky. So, which it isn't always, but it can be. All right, so let me get something to stir this bitch up with. So right now we haven't put in the brown sugar yet, so it's gonna be like really bitter. And but what I'm doing now is trying to get a feel for like if it's spicy enough and if it's not boring tasting, because like we don't want it to be boring tasting. Beef jerky is supposed to be amazing and exciting. It's pretty good, but it is very bitter, I gotta say. It's we're gonna need to put in some more hot sauce, but I'll do the brown sugar first. So with this stuff, I just add it and you get it to dissolve in there, and I just keep adding it until it's sweet enough, and then I stop. If you don't eat sugar, like if you're doing like a low carb diet or something, you can substitute this for a liquid or a powdered artificial sweetener, and it'll still be pretty good. But brown sugar, I think, tastes a lot better. And but you're not going to be like, you know, eating all the brown sugar that's in here, because a lot of it's going to stay in the marinade. So yeah, we're just like dissolving this stuff in here. And it doesn't look like we have a ton of marinade here, but once we add in the meat, the level's going to rise a whole lot, and all the meat should fit in here and be marinated. But in the event that it's not, you can get a one of these Tupperware things that you can flip upside down too in your fridge, and then so halfway through your marinating period, you can just flip it over. Alright, so let's try it out now. Yeah, that's a lot better. I don't want to put too much sugar in there, because I'm trying not to eat too much of it right now. So, but yeah. So what I'm going to do now is make it a little bit spicier. More hot sauce. And I will say, when you're making beef jerky, if you're old like me, it's important that you make sure it's not the only thing that you eat all day, because beef jerky will really fill you up if you're eating like a fattening meat. But the problem is, if you're not eating vegetables with it, it can really mess up your stomach. Because, like, if you are just eating meat, no vegetables or fruit or anything, you're gonna have a bad time. So if you eat this, eat like some celery or something. Trust me. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's perfect right there. Okay, so now we're gonna add our meat. I'm gonna get like a fork because I don't want to touch it and then have to touch the computer. Alright. Oh yeah. Get some. Look at that. Isn't that the most delicious thing you've ever seen? I really just want to stick my hands in here and eat this right now, but I'd probably get really, really sick. It's interesting that this whole process works, because we never actually cook the steak, you know, like we never stick it in the oven, or we never like grill it. Just the process of removing the moisture from it actually makes it safe to eat, which is pretty cool. Okay, so you can see I've got all this more or less submerged. Gonna keep poking it down, and it's gonna absorb the marinade pretty well. And I'm gonna stick this in the fridge, and tomorrow I'll take it out and stick it on our dehydrator. So I'll see you guys then. Okay guys, we are back. I have just woken up and pulled our meat out of the fridge, and you can see, I guess it probably doesn't look too different for you, but I don't know. It looks pretty delicious though. So here's what we're gonna do. we're going to take our food dehydrator here, put the meat in it, one tray at a time. When the tray fills up, we'll put another tray on top, like so. And this can be kind of messy, so I'm going to get these two things like really close together and probably put some paper towels underneath it to minimize the dripping. You can, like, if you want to towel off each individual piece of meat or whatever to like make it so it's not so drippy or whatever, but I don't really feel like it, and you don't really have to, so I'm not going to bother with it. So let's see here. I'm just going to grab like some forks to do the transfer of this stuff, and I'll typically do like one piece at a time so I can make sure I fit it in right. So basically what we're doing here is playing meat Tetris. Oh yeah, meat Tetris. Let's see, can you see how you want to lay it out flat so that it can evenly like cook it, and you want it you don't want to like stack it on top of like the pieces on top of each other, and you want to make sure that it's down flat also so that you can stack the trays without having any gaps in terms of like you have to create a seal between the edges of the trays so that the air will flow up and not out the sides. And yeah, so I guess I'm gonna finish this up and I'll be back. Okay, so I'm done loading it, so I will put the lid on top, and my lid has a little ventilator thingy on it you can like turn on, so I don't know. I'm not really sure if you're supposed to leave that on or off, but I turn it because it makes the whole house smell good. So here's a button. Oh wait, but always make sure you plug in your food dehydrator, and if you're not sure where you get one of these, I think Walmart has them for like $20 or something. I have a couple of them actually. So I'll see you guys in like 8 to 10 hours when it's done. Okay guys, it is the next day. We are back and the jerky is potentially done. I know it's done. I actually left it going overnight. It was taking a little while. So this is what it looks like. Take a gander. It doesn't look like too much, but it's delicious. You can see some of the fattier pieces. I leave the fat on there. They look kind of weird. The fat actually absorbs a lot of the marinade, and the fat takes a really long time to dissolve, so you can chew on it for quite a while. But yeah, I mean, we got a whole bunch of this stuff. This will fill up a fair amount of space here, and I guess I will eat some on camera to prove to you that it's not going to kill you. That's good stuff. Well, like I said before, you can... Oh, sorry. I'm in beef jerky ecstasy right now. Oh, God. You can sprinkle your dry ingredients on it to make it even better and less, you know, like sticky from the brown sugar, which I'll probably end up doing here. What I like to do is split it up into 2 halves and put a lot of cayenne pepper on one and none on the other, so I have like a really spicy bunch and then kind of a more normal bunch. And this stuff is great for camping, by the way, if you go camping, like hiking or anything like that, because it's a large amount of protein to give you like long-lasting energy, and it's really easy to make since you don't have to cook it when you're on the trail and everything. So yes, now I can take a bath in beef jerky today. It'll be the most delicious bath ever. So yes, take care. Let me know if you have any questions or if you want to share your recipe. I'm going to sit here and eat the rest of this. Not at once because I'd get sick. Actually, I might do it anyway.